The year is 2008. You were probably watching pro wrestling while your parents were worried about the housing collapse. Carter 3 just dropped. Barack Obama just became president. But unfortunately for Barack Obama, he was about to meet his biggest competition of 2008.
So he was like a legend all around the world. I always heard people talking about him.
You know, coming to terms is who I am. Like, he's probably my awakening for real, for real.
Twist of Fate, cool. Swan Song, cool. Whisper in the Wind, cool. Everything else, shit.
He was like different when he started painting his face and stuff. I just thought that was like one of the coolest things a wrestler could do.
He's handsome.
And then anytime I think the pyro, I just think of the one time when Matt Hardy blew him up. That was peak. Should have happened every time. Should have happened every time.
Jeff Hardy said something recently that really made me want to make this video.
I think you'd still be doing this when you started out 30 years ago.
Man, I don't know. Probably the way I was living life in my 20s and 30s, and if I was living life the way I'm living life now, oh my gosh, there's no telling. I would probably be bigger than John Cena today, you know, because I was born with such a gift to be a pro wrestler, and I was just, it just felt so natural and like I was totally, you know, created to do this thing.
Yo, and the response to Jeff saying he'd be bigger than John Cena was so crazy because I was there in 2008. I lived it. I was seeing tweets like this, and like this. But the reality was tweets like that, and that, and that. And you know when the bad fucking with you, I gotta go with the bad. I've been watching wrestling since about 2003, 2004.
Damn!
And growing up, I was never the biggest Jeff fan. I actually liked Matt Hardy a little bit more than Jeff. But yo, that 2008 year.
If I beat that pussy up, bitch, you gon' tell on me. If I beat that pussy up, bitch, you gon' tell on me.
But my question is, why? Why was Jeff Hardy so cool? Why was Jeff Hardy so loved? Why was Jeff Hardy bigger than Barack Obama? In order to get the answer to that question, I decided to go ask a group of pro wrestling experts.
All right, chat. Are y'all fans of Jeff Hardy?
I hate that.
Absolutely.
100%.
Wait, like his whole career is just like.
Second question. Why are y'all all fans of Jeff Hardy?
I'm not a fan of that. Matt Hardy matters.
As you can clearly see from my troubled expression, trying to get answers from these Discordians wasn't gonna go good. I had to go to the root. I had to find me a real Jeff Hardy fan. I had to find me someone who was really living that lifestyle. I had to find someone with a Jeff Hardy tattoo.
You do have the Jeff Hardy tattoo.
I do have the Jeff Hardy tattoo. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now, what made you get that?
It was actually I always wanted to get a tattoo, so I went to my tattoo artist. I'm a big Liverpool fan, so I was like, let's do Liverpool, and he was like, dude, I do an American traditional. He was like, Liverpool badges, illustrative. He was like, and he was a big wrestling fan, and he was like, what other ideas I got? And I was like, I see that you're a big wrestling fan. And he was like, I'll do any wrestling tattoo you want. And I was like, Jeff Hardy, whatever you want. I was like, just make it Jeff Hardy. And then he was like, yeah. So we were talking about American traditional tattoos, and he was like, well, the woman's hand is like a very, very popular traditional tattoo. I was like, yeah, Jeff doesn't have like a woman's hand. And then he was like, no, but you could do the Hardy symbol. And I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got that. I'm getting Matt Hardy V1 tattooed, but it's broken. So, you know, it kind of puts in the elements of my two favorite parts of Matt Hardy. Because Matt's my second favorite wrestler of all time. Just no one's going to ever overtake Jeff, but Matt's super nice to me too.
So what made you a fan of Jeff growing up?
So I found Jeff in 98. I got into, I'm born in 96. I started liking wrestling when I was 2. Found Sting. And it's not too crazy of a jump immediately to go, okay, so I was watching WCW, and then I went, oh, this guy in WWF is just as cool. He's actually cooler. But genuinely, like, I really equate Jeff Hardy to like Allen Iverson. I when I was a kid, dude, Allen Iverson's my that's my that was my idol. And I always grew up as the short kid. Jeff's not necessarily like Rey Mysterio height, but he's pretty short compared to every other wrestler. But I was like, he's so unique. He's just his own person. That's what like AI was to me, is he was just distinctly their own person. So when I was a kid, I loved being short. I loved being like, I colored my hair, I dyed my hair purple, I did all that stuff because I was like, I wanted to be my own person because Jeff Hardy and Allen Iverson were like that. So I always thought like being like the short dude that was, jumping off stuff and dyeing their hair, that made you cool.
So even though my boy Johnny, he had all this love, this admiration, respect for Jeff Hardy, in the face of all that, and all that love and all that positive energy, there will be someone always waiting for your downfall.
First off, I'm not putting no white man over my black president. I personally, as a kid, I didn't get the Jeff Hardy hype. All right, if I went to 125th Street, Jeff Hardy was there all the time.
So this wouldn't be a Wrestlewave video if I did not include my Wrestlewave brethren, Jamal and Letrell. Nacho will be in the video a little bit later. So I knew Letrell was a bigger Matt Hardy guy than he was a Jeff Hardy guy. So this checks out. Jamal, I know he's into skating and a lot of alternative things, so I thought he'd be a bigger Jeff Hardy guy. So I said, hey, why not? Let's get them in the video. Currently, Letrell is talking, so let's see what he has to say.
I'm not asking that nigga.
All right, next question. What makes Jeff Hardy cool to you? Or in Letrell's case, what makes him lame to you? Jamal, please go first.
Aesthetically, he got the face paint. You know what I'm saying? He closes his eyes. He paints his eyelids. I don't even know how he do that. That shit is raw. We got the ripped up armbands. That shit was always a vibe. This nigga Jeff Hardy, like, he was like I wouldn't wear that shit personally, but for him, it looked fly on him. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Hardy was just stylish. Then he got the different hair colors. Feel me? That was always cool. Like, one of my favorite Jeff Hardy looks is from 2003 when he had the short blonde hair, white tee, the black. That's my favorite era of Jeff Hardy ever. And you know that nigga got a little jig, bro. He got a little groove. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work without music. But I don't know. Jeff Hardy is just like the title of the video. He's bigger. He was bigger than Obama in 2008, bro. Like,
I got a question for y'all, right? Because
this is my video. What do you mean by a question?
Because there's a lot of hate on a certain brother match that happened at WrestleMania. Okay, there's a lot of hate on that.
How you asking questions in my video?
Yo, be Jeff Hardy. That's why. Now we get into the nitty gritty. How do you have a stinker with your own brother?
Ask the Usos, nigga.
No, and that's my point exactly. You are the Hardy brothers, and not only just the Hardy brothers, they gave y'all niggas some weapons. This is y'all peak. This is what y'all do. And what do y'all do?
Oh, I mean, he got the Whisper in the Wind too. Whisper in the Wind is like best Irish whip counters of all time.
Yeah, you want to know who else got a Whisper in the Wind?
Do not say Jimmy Uso.
Johnny saw Jeff Hardy as his own person, as unique as you could be in pro wrestling. Jamal, he was more into the vibe, into the aesthetic of Jeff Hardy. Letrell,
I ain't like the little fishnets the man was wearing. I wasn't jacking that. And then anytime I think the pyro, I just think of the one time when Matt Hardy blew him up. That was peak. It should have happened every time.
And personally, for me, like what everyone else said, it was everything. It was the music, it was the vibe, it was the aura, it was the dance, it was the face paint, it was the armbands. Basically, when I was watching that 2008 to 2009 period, what Jeff Hardy felt like, it was seeing that you could be your authentic, true self and still have the people behind you, still have the people cheering you, and you could still be that nigga. Earlier in the video, we had the Wrestlewave Discord, kind of all going crazy, talking at once. Now we're gonna get back into that.
Were you a fan of Jeff Hardy growing up?
Yes. I'm a black male born between the years of 93 and 2003. You damn fucking right. I was a Jeff Hardy fan growing up. What are you talking about?
Yes, I was.
This is crazy for me. I ain't never talked to a model.
Oh, for sure. I was really in and out of wrestling, but I definitely remember the Hardys growing up. She keeps doing that. I don't know how to make her stop, guys.
Yes. Did you vote for Barack Obama?
I was like 8 years old.
So you did not vote for Barack Obama.
No, I was like 8 years old, but when he won the election, I was sitting on TV. My family was happy as hell.
So would you have voted for Jeff Hardy to be president?
Maybe because I was 8 years old.
On Black History Month, you would have voted for Jeff Hardy over Barack Obama.
Sometimes you just gotta do something for yourself, bro.
So we both from North Carolina, so he was like a legend all around the state. We always heard people talking about him. He just got a certain type of energy about him. A lot of people would say, like, Jey Uso is the modern day Jeff Hardy. I think that is completely inaccurate because Jeff Hardy is modern day Jey Uso times 10. Like, the aura was all there. He might not have had the charisma, but he had the aura. It was all there.
Me personally, I didn't like no wrestlers who had trunks on. Like, that was a little, before I came to terms with my I was like, that's a little, I don't know about all that. This boy Jeff Hardy came on with jeans I would have been wearing in like going to class. It came on with the jeans. He had the undershirt. You know what I'm saying? He had the weird arm sleeves. And this is what I'm talking about. I was a kid, like real impression. I was like, oh man, this dude rules. Then came out, had the face paint. He was blonde. Like, went away for a little bit. I wasn't watching TNA like that. I didn't know where he went. Came back, still hard. One of the greatest intercontinental champions of all time. Like, the list goes on and on, but he just hard. Like, he had 2 finishers.
I was super into like rock and just like alternative music, and that's very much the look that the Hardys had. Especially, really makes you stand out, especially in a profession like wrestling. And I specifically remember them coming out, their theme, everyone loving it, dancing, back when Lita was still with them too.
I always loved high flyers, like anybody that was like doing some crazy shit off the top ropes or like springboards or dives or anything. Like, I was a fan of them. So like Rey Mysterio, Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, like they were always like my favorites.
Because I started watching wrestling in 2008, and then that was the time where he kind of just got everything all at once. Like, he got the WWE Championship, then I think the World Heavyweight not the World, actually the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, like a little later than that.
Let's clear your mind, right? If you thinking about the stereotypical wrestler, whether it be Hogan or Warrior, Macho Man, even Rock and Austin and Bret and Shawn, they're all just kind of the same. You really boil it down to, in essence, it's really the same sort of guy. And then this dude comes out, right? And we're not talking about the fit. We're not talking about the moves. This boy came out and he was tweaking. he was tweaking. And somehow it's like, damn, I'm trying to tweak like that. Like, he just had, I hate using the word aura. Aura is so overused, but there's just something about that boy. Like, for a split second in time, Matt and Jeff were on the same playing level field. Like, when Taker was wrestling Jeff and Matt was doing V1, they were the same dude. But then, like, that boy Jeff just different. He's different.
So as you can see from the cast of characters we have in the Wrestlewave Discord, Jeff Hardy was able to connect people from all different types of backgrounds and cultures just based off the fact that he did not fit the stereotypical wrestler look. Like J. Rose said, we had Triple H, we had Hogan, we had Warrior. But Jeff Hardy was that one guy that really stood out from the pack. Everyone in the Discord that was just in this, I've known for a considerable amount of time. I've gotten to know them. Mars is from North Carolina, so of course he loves Jeff Hardy. Yvonne is a Latina who loves K-pop, J-pop, and Joshi wrestling. Creatives is a Canadian who also loves Japanese wrestling. Nacho is Nacho. Giggy is a young dude from Harlem. And J. Rose.
I don't know, man. And now coming to terms is who I am. Like, he's probably my awakening for real. Blonde Jeff Hardy, or when he would do like the real bright colors in his hair, had me thinking like, wow, this guy, man, like, he's really cool to look at in a way I don't really understand right now. But that boy, like, he's just different.
I want to talk to my friend and YouTuber MaurieIsland. You can go check him out right here. because I felt like he would be able to really tell me why Jeff was able to connect different people with him as a wrestler. And I also feel like he's one of the more intelligent people in the internet wrestling space.
All right, so what do you think the link is between black audiences and Jeff Hardy? Because I think it's like when you see Jeff Hardy and like idea of a pro wrestler is, right, you think of like a buff white dude, either long hair, like Triple H. Default wrestler in my mind is like Triple H. But I see Jeff Hardy, he doesn't fit in, right? He's not supposed to be there. He's not the ideal of a wrestler. So what do you think that is?
I got you. I wanted to really talk to Maurie about race and pro wrestling.
Oh, why are you talking about race and pro wrestling?
Shut up, bitch.
I feel like a lot of black families have like, I'm not gonna say a lot of kids, but like I feel like most people I know got siblings. And when you have Jeff and Matt, it's always that thing where, you know, with siblings, when you watching a show with some, like, yo, that's me. Other nigga like, no, bro, like, nah, but you said it first. I feel like that made so many comparisons in households to where like niggas was always the Hardy Boys, because it was also a family thing too. Like, nigga, we the Hardy Boys now. And as a black fan, it's so specific to where I feel like, you know how like when you white in wrestling, it's kind of like you have, I'm not gonna say just when you white in wrestling, when you a certain ethnicity in wrestling, you put in a certain box. I feel like Jeff Hardy was so like, that nigga was so random to where it felt like I wasn't really watching a white person, if that makes sense. Like, he obviously white, but the way that he was presenting himself felt very other. And I think a lot of people could relate to that. Obviously, there was other black people on screen, but I think just being that that far, I almost said far right. That's not the being that far, being that far away from the norm makes so many people resonate with him like automatically.
So I'm editing this video right now, and I asked Maurie that he felt like if there was any part of Jeff's aesthetic that he could carry as a black man, considering that Jeff's aesthetic in the time was a little more flamboyant, especially how homophobia was a lot more rampant, I would say, in like the 90s and maybe the early 2000s. He recorded it, but then he was like, I have a much funnier way of putting it, and I thought it was good, so I'm putting it in instead of what we originally recorded.
Adding on to what I said before about the popularity of Jeff Hardy, I think another thing that adds to that popularity is how malleable the character is. I think we have someone who could be a Halloween costume for like a white lesbian and a straight black male. I feel like that range and popularity and that range of cultural relevance is bound to give you like billions of fans across the world. Being able to reach that many people is just like a talent that like you can't really try hard that type of talent. You just gotta have it for real. I think that type of originality cultivated Jeff Hardy's fan base and audience that he has today. I wasn't really able to like word it, but I think a good example of like what Jeff Hardy is to a lot of black people or like young black kids. If you ever seen the show Boondocks, an episode with Gangstalicious, you know, Riley's favorite rapper or whatever, and he's like walking around in like dresses and he got like a little purse or whatever, but like that's Riley's favorite rapper, so he doesn't really think twice about it because he wants to be like the nigga he thinks is cool. And I feel like that's a lot of stuff with Jeff Hardy. It didn't really matter how it made you look because like it made you feel cool. Same with the homie dance. Like niggas was doing what they felt was cool and would look cool because what nigga you like is cool. You want to do everything they doing. And I feel like that was Jeff Hardy for a lot of niggas. It's cool when they do it, so you know it's gonna feel cool when you do it, and you want to be just like them. Jeff Hardy was that guy that I wanted to mimic, that I wanted to be like when I was growing up. Especially when I was younger. Spoke to a nigga, bro. Can I say?
I feel like we covered a lot of ground as far as why people might like Jeff individually, why might groups of people like him. We even had Letrell hating on Jeff.
When I really started watching WWE, he wasn't around. So when he did come, I ain't cared. I had my Batistas, I had my Cenas, I had my Takers, I had my Edges, I had my Oranges, I had my Angles.
We figured out why black people might like them, and even why people of other identities might identify with Jeff himself. But I have one more question I wanted to ask folks before I wrap up the video.
So my final question, if y'all could see Jeff Hardy have one more match in the place of your choosing against the person of your choosing, who would it be?
Give him what he wants. Give him Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns will get some emotion out the crowd at least.
I think you chose the wrong member of the family. I think the guy he should actually fight is Jacob Fatu. It gives that that Umaga-esque match, and then Jacob could just kill him.
Man, there's so many people, but my mind immediately goes to Javon Evans. I want to see Jeff versus Javon. I think for a time, I'm a big Mustafa guy, so I'm hoping to see that in TNA. But yeah, dude, Javon is so insanely like himself and unique in that same way. Like he gets on the screen and he's doing like his little, backstage like promos or whatever, vignettes, and he's, saying, "Oh, I got suspended for doing the DX job." But you've heard everybody say it, but he just doesn't like a very like it doesn't feel like he's acting. It just feels like himself as a wrestler. So yeah, I would pick Javon over anybody.
How me Naptown off? No, on some real stuff, and I know he'll hate I compare it to him. Like, I gotta see the Jeff Hardy Darian Banks interaction. But if we're talking like mainstream wrestling, on some extremely real, I need that Jeff Hardy. I think he's gonna cook me. Jeff Hardy, Von Wagner.
All right, we need the next person.
No.
At this fucking rate, just put him in CMLL. Put him with other high flyers. With who? That's the real question. Yeah. Honestly, probably Templario. Okay. Templario's really great.
As you can see, my friends and fellow content creators, we all feel a way about Jeff Hardy, either be negative or positive. Mostly positive. Jeff Hardy was he is truly one of a kind pro wrestler. He showed a lot of people that you can still be authentically who you are, still be great. People still see him as a legend. They still see him as an icon. And if he sees this, like I said, I was not a big fan of him growing up. But getting older, I see that, hey, man, you are one hell of a guy. I don't have a script for this, as you can tell. I was just kind of freeballing, and I was just kind of letting this all come to me as I either edited the video or as, I was getting the recordings all at the same time. But if you watch this video, I really do appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe. If you like the hat on my head, if you like the hat in my hand, we have Wrestlewave merch. We have a whole lot of shirts. We have hoodies. We have a whole lot of things on there. We have pins. We have stickers. We've tried to make everything affordable so you're not breaking the bank, especially in this economy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Letrell, breaking the fourth wall. He was clip farming. He knew I needed a hater. I don't know who's going to watch this. Please do not go so hard on him. He's playing a role. Anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time out to watch this. Thank you.